Thank you. Jeffrey Rosen from Lazard. You described earlier the relationship with China that's been developing, an economic relationship. I'm curious how you reconcile that relationship with reports about the treatment by the Chinese of Muslim churches, Muslim mosques, the practice of Islam in China. Whether you're able to use this as the relationship as a means of pressuring the Chinese to perhaps relax in that treatment, and if not, whether you raise the risk of perhaps some of the more radical elements of Islam in Pakistan, acknowledging there's not radical Islams, but there are radical Islamic people who practice Islam who are radical, whether you run the risk of a reaction from them domestically, which could unsettle the country, your country.
Particularly given what the Chinese are doing, with the Uyghurs.
Look, with the Chinese, we have a special relationship, and it's the way China functions. Any of issues like these, we talk to them privately. We don't make public statements because that's how China is. And I again repeat, China has come to our help when we were right at the rock bottom. So I would not publicly talk about it, but just as someone who has taken over Pakistan 13 months ago, faced the biggest economic crisis, dealing with that. We have a problem in Afghanistan trying to settle that. We are worried about what would happen now with Iran and Saudi Arabia, the United States. That's the other border. So one border Iran, the other Afghanistan, and now with India. I think I've got enough on my plate right now. Wouldn't you say, Richard? What would you do if you were in my position? You'll probably have a heart attack by now.
Hi, good morning. I'm Minky Worden from Human Rights Watch. Our discussion today has proceeded without any mention of rights for 150 million women and girls in Pakistan. As Human Rights Watch has documented, there are serious problems with access to education, forced marriage, child marriage, and honor killings. What are your plans to deliver justice and accountability for women and girls? Thanks.
Our main plank of our manifesto is rule of law. All the things you're saying is because we have weak enforcement of law. We have laws protecting women. We have laws protecting the weak, the minorities. And at times when these violations take place, it's because our enforcement, our implementation is weak. But I can tell you right now, 13 months, we have taken steps to protect our minorities. We have taken steps to protect the worship places of the minorities. The initiative which we have taken with the Sikh community is opening up the Kartarpur corridor is unprecedented. We are now in the process of restoring places of worship because Pakistan was also the center of Buddhist civilization, and also the Hindu shrines. So my concept of Pakistan is where our minorities are equal citizens. They have all their rights are protected. All the women, the weaker sections, the poor people in our country, we have come up with the biggest ever poverty alleviation program despite our fiscal constraints. It is in our history, it's the biggest poverty alleviation campaign which we've started. So to sum it up, my idea of Pakistan is basically rule of law and not just protecting the weaker sections of the society, but also helping those areas of Pakistan that have stayed back, like FATA. FATA has merged with Pakistan for the first time with KP, and we have spent funds to rehabilitate the people of FATA because of the war on terror.